Have you guys seen Kangaroo Jack?
Fuck.
I think I've only watched like part of it.
How have you not seen that movie?
It's the one with the sweater.
Yeah, he steals the jacket.
Yeah, and that one actor, I forgot his name, but yeah,
The guy from Blackish
yeah,
is the dad.
the guy that was in Transformer.
He's in Transformer. Yeah, your favorite line.
Yeah. Who hasn't?
That's one of Ozzy's favorite lines in any movie.
Well, he's speaking the truth. He's speaking the truth. That's why LimeWire went down.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to give some context to the audience. Yeah. But where are you going with that?
No, it's a good movie. I like it. It's funny. Gets kicked in the chest by the freaking kangaroo.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Gets beat up.
Well, kangaroos are natural kickboxers, no?
I don't know. Frankie?
They do kick. And there's probably some boxes they've kicked. So
I mean, I've seen like on videos that people go up to a kangaroo and just sock them in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
have you seen like those freaking ripped kangaroos?
Yeah, I have. Are those real?
I don't know if they're real, but they look scary.
Yeah. I don't know if that, I know.
I'm pretty sure they do. Like if they end up getting in enough fights.
But how did they get like upper body ripped though? They're not doing push-ups and shit. How are they?
Well,
It's just their legs.
No, they punch too.
Yeah, but you got to lift the weights to.
What do you mean? They're just animals, bro. They could just be naturally built like that.
Oh, I thought they were just all legs.
You think there's like a gym for them? They just like be bench pressing?
Imagine
Like a prison gym, like outside.
inside the what is in Australia? Isn't there a forest there or something like that?
The outback?
Yeah, there's just the whole little area right there, and they're all working out and shit.
That'd be funny.
So they wouldn't be what would they kangaroo? There'll be a gym kangaroo, like a gym rat.
Yeah, I know. I
It
just
would
didn't
be.
think it was funny. I saw what you were doing.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Full Beans Show. Today, we're going to bring you the Australian Grand Prix. My name is Ozzy.
David. And behind all of our equipment.
I'm Frankie.
Cool.
Good day. Good day, mates.
Good day, mates.
Yeah. Been waiting to
Good
drop
day.
that one.
So you're culturally informed, huh?
Absolutely not.
So today was the Australian Grand Prix.
That it was.
And any big news coming into this Grand Prix?
I guess the extra 2 DRS zones that we had.
True. Which made it kind of a difference in the race.
Made a difference, but I didn't like that there were only 2 detection points.
Okay.
So 1 detection point gave
okay.
you 2 DRS zones.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, so if you got DRS in the first one
You pass them.
and you pass them, you get DRS
You
in
have
the
DRS
other.
in the next one, and you're flying further in front of them.
Yeah, because then, it kind of handicaps the other one. Something before the race that I wanted to mention was that Danny Rick, we obviously know he's at Red Bull, the third driver. And I think it was on Saturday morning or Friday evening, he comes out saying that, oh, yeah, everything's looking good for me to come back on the grid with the top team, right?
Yeah, next year.
Next year. And then Saturday comes around, practice 3. Guess who ends up having a fucking shit-ass day? And then even having a horrible qualifying? Our man, Checo Perez.
Yeah, but that's what we've been saying.
You think there's something going on there now?
I don't think so.
I think so.
But that's what we've been saying. He just doesn't qualify like well.
But not like what he had there. Like, okay, but this wasn't even on his pace. This was just like he was having issues with the car.
Yeah, but we
they
do
weren't even
see it
straight.
later in the race. Max has the same issue.
Okay, but my point is that we don't see it as drastic. So my point is, did they put enough effort to try to fix his issue or not? But yeah, that's something I noticed before the race. Anything else did you guys notice before the race? Before we get right into it?
Piastri I think is like the first Melbourne, like that's his home city.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first Australian to like race, to be from Melbourne, racing in Melbourne. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that is kind of cool.
Yeah, and obviously they've had other Australians, but they weren't from Melbourne.
Mm-hmm. I think the only ones that I know is obviously Danny Rick,
Mark Webber.
Mark Webber, yeah, and then now Oscar Piastri. But yeah, the race starts. Our starting grid is Verstappen, and then the two
Got the two Mercedes.
The two Mercedes with Russell out qualifying Hamilton
Yet again.
3
for 3.
Yep.
And well, I mean, you know what I think of that they're gonna start pulling some wires on Russell's car so that Hamilton can be favored.
Mm-hmm. That's your theory, right?
Yeah.
And then after we have Alonso. Alonso was looking quick through the weekend.
Yeah, he was looking fast.
And after that, then we have the Ferraris and
well, we had Sainz, then Stroll, then Leclerc.
Uh-huh. And then those are basically the big boys right there fighting. And then it was a good qualifying too for Albon too.
Yeah, he had a good qualifying.
He's been kind of stepping it up, like compared to that inside that Williams.
Yeah.
But the race starts, and then we have okay start from Verstappen, and but it was a great start from Russell.
Great start from both Mercedes, I think.
Oh, really?
I felt like both Mercedes had a good start. Russell, had the best start of everyone, but I thought it was a good. I think you see Verstappen like, and I think he said it later that he kind of took it easy on the start.
On the start,
because he knows the pace that's in the car.
Before that turn one has always been known to cause like some. It's always been a little like a moment of like there would always be drama there or something going on, huh?
It's always a little tricky.
Yeah. So I guess maybe he knew something about that. He didn't want to push his luck.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, like, you know, he knows there's 4 DRS zones, and we saw the pace that the Red Bulls have in the DRS zone.
So if he's like, if they get me now, I can just get them later.
Yeah, I get them later. One thing that I saw was Checo for once had a good start, but he gets like boxed out.
He did.
He had like a really good start, but then it was just an unfortunate like boxing out that he runs into.
And he didn't get to make up as many places.
Yeah, because he had made up like a good amount of places, and then by turn one, he's like just in a horrible spot, a horrible line to take turn one, and he doesn't make up the places that he should have on that start.
And then the lap one drama that we have is that Stroll and Leclerc come together, and it makes Leclerc retire from his race, and it brings out the safety car on lap 1.
Yeah, we have a safety car on lap 1, and who pits?
I believe Perez pits.
Yeah, Mercedes.
But no, that's gonna be later. That Mercedes pits.
Oh, that's right.
I think everybody stays out. I think just like the back grid.
The back of the pack pit
Mm-hmm.
for hards.
Yeah, for hard tires. Yeah.
But it was quite a opening 10 laps.
Mm-hmm.
We have another safety car. At this point, we're running
lap 7. We have a safety car.
But at this point, we're running a Mercedes 1-2.
Yeah,
with Russell. Yeah, Russell in first, and Mercedes and Lewis in second.
Okay.
And then remember, we get the message of Lewis. Russell was like, "You guys are telling me to save tires and be conservative, but my teammate is pushing me." Which is unsurprising. It's not surprising from Mercedes that they tell Russell again, "Okay, chill out," but then Lewis is like pushing because obviously, I mean, he has Verstappen on right behind him, but they're trying to give.
So I wonder how okay, we obviously know that there's a crew behind at the garage, right? And then there's another crew back at home in their home base, right?
Yeah.
I wonder who's the one sending messages to tell Russell, is there one guy giving 2 messages like saying, "Oh, Russell needs to do this and Hamilton needs to do this," or is there one guy with Russ?
No, there's a race strategist, and I think he's in charge of everything.
He's in charge of everything.
Yeah, he's in charge of everything.
Okay, and then he tells the race engineer, and the race engineer communicates that to the driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, but I mean, I think it's not just like one guy. It's like the race strategist, and like I'm sure Toto has a word
Yeah, yeah. He does. Obviously, he gets input from different people and stuff like that. But is it that one guy, the race strategist, making the calls for both drivers and everything like that?
I think that yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he'll
but
get
I'm saying,
input.
but I think it's the team as a whole is making those decisions. It's not like
Yeah,
you
but
got one guy.
But you can't be making if you're working. They're working on seconds. If you hearing everybody's opinion, and then if you go back and forth with someone, that takes up time. You know. So
Yeah,
I wonder if like that race strategist. I wonder if they have it within the team. Okay, I get all the input from him, and they kind of don't question him unless it's a really like that person feels like, oh no, maybe we should do this.
I don't know, but I think they also have like strategies played out like beforehand.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
like they always
Like
say,
the plan A,
like they
plan
always say,
B.
yeah, but they always say like, if there's no team orders, if team orders don't exist, which supposedly they haven't, then the lead car gets the preferred strategy. So you know you have preferred car gets this strategy, and then second car gets this strategy.
Okay.
So like, you know, there's not so much that of course you're taking information as it comes to you, but you also have already plans set out.
Okay. So he's just looking through the plans that they have already set out.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if they're, I don't think that's a crazy scenario for them to have planned out already. To be like, oh, we get in front of Verstappen, it's a 1-2.
Gotcha.
But then we get another safety car.
Yeah, we get another safety car with Albon.
Yeah, we get a safety car.
He loses the rear end. He ends up in the gravel. Has a moment with the wall, and
which right on the last safety car. When did? Because the lap 7 is Albon's safety car. But it is. Yeah, Russell pits on that safety car.
He does.
He does from the lead, which seems like an okay strategy for him at that time.
So lap 7, we have the Albon crash safety car. Then we have lap 8, which has the red flag.
Yeah, but he pits before the red flag.
He pits on. Yeah, he pits under the safety car.
Russell pits under the safety car. Lewis complains about it because he's given the favored strategy. And we've heard Lewis complain about red flags as well, that you shouldn't be able to change your blah, blah, blah. He gets a red flag, just completely ruining Russell's strategy at that point.
Yeah, Russell got screwed.
Until like 7th or something. I don't know. He gets the short end of the stick. And then we get the red flag, which Hamilton's leading at that point. And then Verstappen is in second. And I just found it funny that we've heard Hamilton complain about this, and then he's like the huge winner from this red flag.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the past, Hamilton benefits a lot from certain situation. I don't know what he has. I don't know what luck he has, but that always happens.
But it was just, I mean, it was classic Hamilton of complaining. It was like, oh, this puts me, he says something about like, this puts me at a big disadvantage. Like he was complaining about that.
Yeah, he was questioning the team's decisions.
Which he's, for him being such a quote unquote team player, which here at Full Beans we don't believe he is, but whatever. He gets, then he miraculous. Obviously, it wasn't like planned, but like, just how lucky is it that he gets that red flag after that?
I know that always. I mean, that's like Hamilton's honestly kind of his career. Sometimes that it's shown. Like, I'm not saying he's not a great driver or anything like that, but if you look back at certain races and stuff like that and big moments, stuff like that always comes into his luck, and he always benefits a lot. So yeah, we get the red flag, and during the red flag, cars are now supposed to enter the pit, and they're allowed to have one free pit stop.
Is this our first red flag of the season?
It is. So they go inside and they have a free pit stop because there was a lot. So usually they have a red flag because there's like they need to have maybe like another vehicle, like a cleanup vehicle on there. So there was a lot of loose gravel.
Any safety like measure that they want to take. If they feel it's unsafe, then they bring out the red flag. The cars come into the pits. They just sit there. Drivers get out of their cars, and they don't know. Usually, they don't have an exact idea of how long it'll take. So, but everyone gets essentially a free pit stop at that point. Which I don't know. Do you want to tackle that right now?
Nah, That's like a whole thing because
It's a whole thing. So that's why I was like, I don't know if we want to tackle that right now.
it's such
I guess we should touch on it briefly. We'll touch on it briefly.
It's such a case by case scenario, and depending on like what position you are, it changes your point of view. You know, of how you feel about.
Obviously,
red
if you win in the scenario, then you're like, yeah, let's keep the rules that we have.
Exactly.
So as we were saying, we kind of see
gain a lot but lose a lot.
We kind of see the argument in this race where Russell gets completely screwed by the red flag, in that he had pitted a lap earlier from the lead, thinking that it was only going to be a safety car, and then so the strategy is he would come in pit, get new tires, come out in like 7th, 8th, whatever he came out in, and then the racers in front of him are on old tires. So that's like essentially the strategy. It should even out where he should come out in front. He could stay out longer. Who knows? But then he gets screwed because this red flag. Now everyone has fresh tires, and this is where the issue is with red flags: is should everyone be allowed a free pit stop in under red flag conditions?
It's hard to say. It's hard.
But that's the issue. Is what I'm saying. That's the issue that people have, is that you can have the pit stop, the free pit.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Ozzy's saying, I don't know if I have like a strong opinion on it, or like a preference on what it is. Like, we have preferences and opinions. Like we feel like qualifying should have points, things like that. But in terms of red flags, I don't know.
It's hard because there's arguments on both sides that are very strong.
Yeah.
So, and then like you're saying, like because you can gain a lot, you can gain along on that red flag. So
yeah, if
you're the one that's gaining, you're like.
I mean, we've seen it on who won the one we had like 4 red flags. It wasn't.
I know, like
in Italy.
Yeah, I know, like Gasly.
Was it Gasly's?
Yeah, he won a lot on that red flag.
Well, he won the race.
Yeah, he won the race.
Yeah, but it was like Gasly and Ocon fighting to the end.
No, it was Gasly and Sainz fighting to the end.
Yeah, it's like Gasly. But anyways, that's what I was just saying, is that someone who, let's say they stayed out just one lap longer, and they're like, they just don't seem like they have the pace. They stay out a little longer. Red flag comes in. All of a sudden, they're genuinely in first place.
Yeah, imagine if, I guess this happens towards the end of the race, but imagine we see a red flag towards the end of the race. But imagine if you're 20th, and then everybody pits. The 19 drivers in front of you pit. Then there's a red flag, and you're in first, right? And then the race ends under that last lap thing that happened.
Well, I guess we can, because I want to get into that specific scenario, but I guess we can get into that later.
Let me just finish this thought. And that whole thing happens. Now you just won the Grand Prix, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just the gain is so big that it's like it's kind of hard
but
to
does
go.
But does it make sense just because
You
there is a
benefit?
large gain, but it's like unfair. Like, it's unfair to everyone. Like, sure, the person who wins, but doesn't everyone else lose?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we have to look more into it and see. I don't know. Someone should do a research paper on the red flag, dude, to see why if they should take that off a free pit stop under the red flag conditions, because they can change everything. Like they as long as they meet the FIA's rules and stuff, because they can change front wing.
Yeah, they can repair the car.
They can repair the car.
I think it's like if the part that's being replaced
Has
is
to
of
be
the
the same.
exact same.
That's what I'm saying. Like they can change
like
brakes, brake pads. Like they can change like up to that like level of measure if they have enough time to do it.
Which I think if it's but I guess you could argue that. Because what I was gonna say is I guess you could be like, okay, if it's safety, if it's like a wing, right? If you're gonna have less downforce, it's unsafe, right? I guess you could say the same thing of used tires, right? But what I was gonna say is if it's a safety precaution change, then maybe you can do that. But you don't get the tires, because the tires are such a big gain.
Yeah, the tires are everything.
The tires are like saving you.
They can save you seconds. They can save you. Sorry, they can save you seconds. They can save you like actual traction, like on the road.
Well, yeah. So like
all that.
If without looking at lap times and things like that, it automatically saves you 20 seconds or around 20 seconds, whatever the pit stop delta is. however long it takes that pit stop to happen for you to come in and come out, that's what you're saving immediately from that. The minimum is that's what you're saving.
And if it's towards the end of a race, that's huge.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning of the race, I guess in the beginning of a race, if you have a red flag, yeah, and if you're in front,
well, like the beginning, like this one happened at the beginning, and the only like everyone was kind of the same except for Russell.
Yeah, except
Russell
for
got like super screwed on that red flag.
Well, yeah. Let's just.
I don't know. I guess I did ask if you wanted to get into it. He said no, and we went with it. Frankie, what is it? You're right. Dude, that's what you get for drinking that massive Red Bull.
It's just allergies. It's completely like different.
All right. Making sure our producer stays alive. So then we have
but I mean, anyway, like if like it obviously like it takes in like a lot of different like opinions and maybe actual rules like when it comes to like if we should consider what can be done during a red flag. Yeah. So I mean, if anyone has like any comments or like maybe actual like any input, just go and leave it in the comments. Let us know so we can like listen to all your input and see like what would be a good decision, at least on our end.
Once they contact us, because we're idea guys over here.
Yeah.
Once they contact us with our ideas, we can slip that additional idea in there.
Yeah, we're gonna be part of the
stewards.
design phase.
Be the stewards.
Yeah. Well, back to the race. In lap 10 is when we get the green flag, and it's now a standing start.
Which is also another, I guess, problem that people have with red flags. Is it a standing start or a rolling start?
Yeah, the red flag has a lot of opinions from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Of how it should be or what should be done or what the rules should be. It's a good start from Hamilton. He's starting first, and Verstappen starting second. Good start from Hamilton. And then finally, we see Verstappen overtake Hamilton for the race lead, and Verstappen right away.
You see that like 9 seconds. You see that
gets like a second and a half within like half a lap.
Did you see that the new little graphic they had?
Yeah, I saw
where it
that.
said like new race lead.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was interesting.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I guess it is helpful. I guess in when you're starting to learn about the sport and you're starting watching it, and everyone's like essentially in a circle. That you're like, oh, well, I don't know where this circle starts and this circle ends. So I guess it is helpful if you don't know how to. And then like I guess on the timings too, it's a little daunting if you don't know what you're looking at. It's a little confusing.
I think that would really help if there was more than just two teams fighting for the race lead.
Yeah.
Because if
well, what do you mean?
Because if it's only if there's a Red Bull, most likely it's gonna be for like the race lead or.
I guess but I mean they still gotta put it.
Yeah, I'm saying it's good. I'm saying it's a good idea, but I'm just saying most of the time it's like if it's a Red Bull, they're probably in the front or fighting for the race.
So then we get a couple races in before a couple laps before there's another just unlucky for George. His car catches fire. Look kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, look kind of a little cool.
Mm-hmm. So he's starting seventh, like you said, and then he's trying to fight back up, and then his car catches on fire.
Yeah, just a poor day for George at the track today.
Yeah, terrible.
I felt bad. Honestly, I felt bad for him.
Yeah, he had great qualifying.
Yeah, it looked like he could at least do something. Mm-hmm. He was gonna get on at least a podium.
Yeah, so it was a day he wants to forget for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that brings out the virtual safety car.
Is that our first VSC?
I think so.
Which should have been brought out the other race when
with Stroll
with
Stroll at Jeddah.
Yeah, where Checo gets. We mentioned the virtual safety car because this is exactly what I mean. It's a very similar situation in where Hamilton pulls over in a place that Russell pulls over in a place where they can go grab his car quickly, roll him into the pits, and it's in a safe area, and let's keep racing.
Exactly.
So I don't know, maybe they took notes or something, and they were like, okay, yeah, we should do virtual, which don't know why they didn't do that in Jeddah.
Yeah.
But so we get the virtual.
Yeah.
And then so for the virtual, I don't know if we've gone over it, if you know what it is, but the virtual is where your speed is reduced. You have to reduce your speed by like 40%, something like that. But the crucial part is that the timings stay the same.
Should stay the same.
Like the time gaps between you and the person in front of you, you and the person behind you should stay the same. Stay the same
gaps.
within, I don't know. There's like a tolerance for it.
Yeah, they should stay the same, but sometimes I don't know. They push their luck.
Yeah, I mean on their wheels, it'll say right there like the delta that they have to stay within. So that's the point of the virtual safety car, is to like slow everyone down, but to not bunch everyone up, because obviously there's disadvantages and advantages to that. But
Yeah,
kind of just to continue the race without like coming to like a such a big change, like a virtual safety car or a red flag.
yeah, and they mostly do it when it's gonna be something quick that they can remove quick from the track. So it only lasts like a lap, and then it's green flag after that. After lap 19, they get the green flag, so they go racing again.
A quick note I had on lap 19 was I think we should start a little like a tally marks, like a board or something, because Hamilton's complaining about tires. And if you
tell me something that's new.
Exactly, but the thing is, we've talked about this. I don't know if I think we talked about this in our test episodes.
He's playing some game, dude. He's playing a reverse.
No, but he says that, and then he sets the fastest lap of the race.
Exactly.
Every single time Hamilton complains about tires, he does like he pulls a move on someone, sets the fastest lap. He does something.
So he does the opposite of what he says.
But the thing is, obviously, those are the messages we only when we're watching it on TV, right? You're watching TV, whatever. You only get the messages that the producers or like they decide to play. Obviously, there's a bunch of more messages, but they continually will play the messages of Lewis complaining about tires, which I don't know if that's like a joke within them. They're like, okay, every time Lewis will complain about tires, we're gonna let everyone hear it. We're gonna let everyone hear it.
I think you might be onto something, because that happens way too much.
Dude, he's the only person we ever hear like continually complaining about tires.
He's the only
and
one.
He can't be the only person complaining about tires.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally impossible for him to be.
He can't be the only person, like you're saying, that they complain about tires and then they set personal best, or they set the fastest.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Where he complains about tires. That's a mental game that we think that he's trying to play with everyone else.
Our man, Jenson Button, he was commentating this race, and he says exactly.
Why is he our man?
Huh?
Why is he our man?
That's going to be for a future episode. When we get Jenson Button on here, you guys are going to love that one. But our man, Jenson Button, he says exactly what we're saying right now. He said Hamilton comments about his tires going off, and then he sets the fastest lap, so he just mentions it really quick. But yeah, that's classic Hamilton. That's vintage Hamilton.
We're going to have to start taking a count. I have to count every time we hear him complaining about tires.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people have picked this up.
I mean, yeah, like if you have watched races, like I mean, maybe not so much now because he's not so much in the
lead,
so they don't play his messages so much. But when he was when he's fighting for race wins, you hear it all the time. Him complaining.
It's like,
about
what
tires.
race did he not say that in?
But that's what I'm saying is like he can't be the only one. Like there's no way he's the only one complaining about the tires. So they just choose to only play his messages, which is I think is even funnier.
What do you think Bono's is a race engineer, right?
Yeah.
You think he he's just like rolls his eyes?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, he's complaining about tires. Dude, how many messages though come across on the radio where they're like, yeah, I know, okay, just get on with your race.
You're right.
They want to say that. Obviously they don't say that.
It must be
how
really
many messages they're like, yeah, dude, okay, whatever, just get on with your race, okay?
Yeah, it's kind of like your mom and you're just a little kid, and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. They probably do feel
all the time. They're probably like, I imagine. I don't know who Sonoda's engineer is, but how tired of Sonoda's whining do you think he is? Especially
in the beginning when he's like, curse everybody out. He's probably like, oh my god, here we go again, just getting cursed out again. But so after this green flag, the race kind of turned to a snooze fest after that.
But I think on our I'm gonna get on this. I'm gonna get onto this a little bit on our indie episode. But I feel like there's not many races where the middle stint is that exciting.
You're right. Yeah, because
there can be races where there's no action at all ever, and there's snooze fests.
You kind of see like that that's when like safety cars and come like middle stand. I
Yeah,
feel like
well,
that's the only time it really excites the race again.
And the middle stints, yeah. I mean, you get to see maybe a little bit more of the middle of the pack, like fighting in the middle stints.
I feel like these last 3 races we've seen a lot of camera on the pack in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, because I feel like they've been,
that's the only racing happening on the track, right?
which is exciting, right? Because like we get to see, if only that was happening
In the front.
the whole way,
Yeah, where the
just to the front, like they're just the front 3 that are there.
because that's where it's high stakes, you know, it's
Yeah.
for the win.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are battling for like what, 8th, 7th, sometimes like 14th, 16th, like, you know, like I guess like some of them are trying to make up the field, but at that point sometimes those are just kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So then Perez, he started from the pit lane and he starts to make himself up the grid, and up to lap 23 is when Perez is at 9th place.
And
so
then when does 23?
Yeah, 23. And we don't get, and so then it stays kind of like this.
Is that when he's behind Norris?
Yeah.
So this is, I think, this is what we've mentioned before, and this is what we've said about Checo, is that he needs to have a good qualifying, because he just doesn't have. I don't know what it is he's missing, but he just doesn't have that ability to just make his way through the whole pack.
I think, yeah, especially
because
against
Verstappen starts from, what did he start from?
like he was 11th,
Whatever,
or 15th, or
he
something.
starts from like 15th, and you know he's gonna get to second.
Mm-hmm.
You know at some point he's gonna get to second place,
And pretty quickly.
and he gets there. And then with Checo, I was like, I don't know if he can do it.
Yeah, it's always a question mark, because it's like we mentioned before. There's certain drivers on the grid right now that have like that certain little special yeah, or like little thing that they have that just makes them above the average driver. Like for example, Norris is one of those. Verstappen obviously is one of those. Russell is I would think those 3. You can argue Sainz too. But those drivers have that extra little special in them that they're able to extract. They're able to have like a not that very well car, a car that's not very competitive, but make it competitive against other cars that are way ahead of them, and as far as in pace. So we've seen Perez in the past struggle against Norris, even though Perez has a very he has a stronger car than Norris.
The thing was with this race, Checo was like, he passes a few people, and then he gets bogged down behind Norris. But the thing is, he's not even right behind Norris.
No.
He was like 2-3 seconds behind him. I think he was up to 5 seconds, and it took him 20 laps.
Yeah,
to
good
like
while
pass
to
Norris.
get exactly.
And it's just, I don't understand. He was, I mean, I don't know. That's the thing with him. I mean, obviously his driving style is very different, where it's hard to get him. Like once he's up in the front, it's hard to pass him, just because he can tire manage. He's really good at that kind of thing. He's really good at managing his tires. He's good at having like a calm race, but like in control. But when it comes to passing people, that's why we've said that like he needs to have a good qualifying. Because if he doesn't have a good qualifying, then this is what happens.
It takes him a while to get up to the front.
It took him like 20 laps.
I mean, we've seen that he's able to pass people. Obviously, his first win, he goes. He had
good maneuvers. He had good maneuvers this race. Like there were some good maneuvers that were good to watch. And I was like, maybe he's gonna do it today. But then as soon as he hits Norris, and there was like a 5-second gap, and I saw him taking out maybe a 10th a lap, and I'm like, there's no way you're gonna get up anywhere at that pace.
Yeah, when he gets against those special drivers, it's very hard for him. He gets stuck there.
Which is crazy, because Norris was like in like 8th.
Exactly.
So it's not like Norris was like, I was thinking he was going to slow down once he hit maybe like 7th, 6th or 7th, when Checo got into that place, that's where he was going to start slowing down, but he slowed down in 9th.
Yeah. Barely, like he's going to get 2 points. So, yeah, after that.
Did you hear the bit of the old rivalries brewing?
No, what was that?
Where Lewis says,
oh, I did hear that.
I'm not losing to him. He's like, I'm not going to lose out to him. Him being Alonso.
Alonso, yeah. God, I was hoping Alonso could pass him.
I know. I was like, let's go. Come on.
God, I hate it. It's so funny because obviously, like, everybody knows they hate each other, right? Because
Yeah.
of the past they've had and stuff like that.
They have a heated past for
They do.
those of you
I mean,
who
who
don't know.
doesn't have a heated past with Hamilton, honestly? But besides that, he has.
Bottas.
Does he not?
I don't know. I feel like he just wasn't even good enough. So
I feel like Bottas is just a calm person who just doesn't really just
Yeah, I
show his
guess.
emotion
have you
out
seen
there.
his little his like I think it's like coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah, he has like
Oh, he has a coffee now.
I think he has like a little coffee videos and stuff.
We should try. We should buy some of his coffee and try it
Yeah.
out. Well, here we'll give you a
We'll get the review.
taste review here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's coffee. He's got something.
I forgot what I was gonna say about Alonso and Hamilton.
Rivalries, old rivalries. Who doesn't have
Oh,
a
so I know what I was gonna say.
There, look at that. Look at that. I just jog his memory. I'm good.
What's it called? But see, on social media, when they like talk shit about each other, and then on social media they end up like, oh yeah, we like hugged it out and stuff like that. They must be so fake to each other at that point. No.
You know that we think already that Hamilton is super fake.
I
don't know about Alonso. I feel like Alonso's a little more.
He's real.
He's more real because like he'll say like you if you've seen him in a bad car, he's upset about it. Like he'll
let you know.
tell you. He'll tell
He's
you.
one of
so.
those like brutally honest people. Huh?
Yeah, so I don't feel like
Or blunt people.
Alonso's as fake, but I don't know. We think at least I think Hamilton is super fake.
Yeah. So he says those comments, and I'm pretty sure that message was sent over to Alonso.
I mean, yeah,
For
you got to
sure,
get on
dude.
it. Push.
So then after that, I was gonna say kind of that stint now ends up kind of getting a little boring. By lap 30, Verstappen has a 7.9 second gap in front.
Yeah.
By lap 41, now 10 laps later, he has a 9.8 second gap between him and Hamilton, which shows you the speed of the Red Bull, like everybody's been talking about. It's just dominance. Lap 54 is when we have now. You have anything before?
Quickly. I think someone's listening to us because De Vries from 20th in lap 46 pits for softs.
Pits for I did.
From last.
I did.
From last.
I did
What
notice
is he
that.
doing there? What is he doing pitting for
Yeah.
softs?
What is he doing? And then, if you notice, I think Verstappen or Perez had the fastest lap.
Yeah.
So why would the sister team take away the fastest lap from the
Someone
main
is
team?
listening to us.
Exactly. I thought the same thing when I was like, Sauce.
Okay. Do you think it's a coincidence that after we said that,
People
every
are-
race we've had a back marker well in 15 below?
Last race, it was Bottas.
Yes, what I'm saying, from like 16th. Pitting for softs. They're not getting a point for that fastest lap. What are they pitting for?
I don't know.
And then they're just pitting, like, it's not like they needed the pit stop. They just pit for softs. Why are they doing that?
I don't know.
They're listening to us.
It makes no sense.
Someone is listening to us.
Someone. The message has gone
We
all
better get
away.
a little. I just want to credit. You don't gotta pay me. You don't gotta do anything. I just want to be like, yeah, Full Beans gave us this idea.
Yeah. And then once it gets incorporated to the FIA, we want the commentaries to know. Yeah, this was brought by the Full Beans crew
Yeah.
out there. But I noticed and I was like, what the heck? Because that made no sense,
I
you
don't
know?
why they're pitting for softs from 20th. What is he doing?
20th, exactly.
Well, I think he was like last, maybe 19. I think
No, he was
I'm
last.
pretty sure he was dead last.
With that pit stop, it made him last.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying even he pitted from that position. Like I don't think
Yeah,
he lost
was-
the position.
Exactly. So
Anyways, someone's listening to us, and I like it. Hopefully they bring in.
it's
hopefully,
a good idea.
yeah, we're gonna get into a little more suggestions a little later.
Mhm.
Hopefully they bring those. They implement those as well.
They incorporate to the racing.
Yeah. All right, continue. What were you
So
saying?
so
So this
yeah.
is where the race gets spicy.
It does.
Yeah.
This is where, it gets a little more interesting. Safety car comes out. Magnussen retires from the race. Then right after they don't retire the race. They red flag the race.
The race was 58 laps.
It was.
So this is where
Let me fact check you.
I think it's 58.
58. You're correct.
Yeah, it's up here. It's up here. It's up
Damn,
here. Anyways, okay. So they red flag it on lap 56.
Yeah, they do.
They red flag it because of
55,
Magnussen's
55.
Okay, 55
Mm-hmm.
because of K-Mag's crash.
Mm-hmm. Which is such a weird crash, huh?
Now, yeah, but this is what I want to get into. Another red flag. Why? I like the intent that I believe the FIA had here. I believe the intent was to not finish the race.
I did.
Under a safety car.
Because people have complained in the past that they don't want to see
a safety car.
Finishing in a safety car.
I was upset when he crashed, and I was like, I don't want to see this end on a safety car. I don't know if there was, I mean, obviously there were some battles going on here and there, but I was like, I don't want this to end on a safety car. And I like the intent that was there. That I believe that was the intent. To not finish under a safety car, because I guess, I mean, I don't know, maybe he was so far in the track that they had to pull out the red flag anyways. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they wanted to see the race finish on racing conditions. Now, what do we do about this?
Like what?
Well, you see what happens on the restart.
Okay, this is my thought, right?
Okay, so the restart happens. We get a standing of the third start of the race, and absolutely all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, we get man.
All hell breaks loose. Carbon fiber everywhere. Tires everywhere. Just an absolute
carnage.
Just it was entertaining to watch, but it was a little scary, you know.
Yeah.
And
so just a little context we get in here. We get a good start from Verstappen. Gasly locks up. It was kind of Gasly that started this whole thing.
Gasly was the catalyst that started this chain reaction.
Gasly locks up. He makes Perez go wide. Perez goes onto the gravel.
Yeah.
Sainz has contact with Alonso, which makes Alonso spin out. And then when Gasly rejoins to the track, he rejoins, and I don't know if he noticed his teammate was on the right-hand side.
He takes out Ocon.
Yeah, he takes out Ocon, and now they both retire from the race. And then at the same time, Sargent hits De Vries from the back, and they both retire from the race.
Yeah, so there was absolute just
carnage everywhere.
So this is the argument for not having a red flag, standing start from a red flag.
Yeah, something before we get into that. I like how when Alonso got hit and he span out.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
He obviously let all his emotions with the F word and stuff like that out first. And then right away his brain was like...
And they mention it.
Yeah, they mentioned it. He's like, right away his brain was like, oh, they can
well, that was because
they can take the lap back like Silverstone right away.
When they pull out the red flag.
Yeah, and it was quick.
When they pull out the red flag, that's when he says that. When he's like, what he says is, we haven't gone, I mean, whatever his memory is like, I mean, obviously he's a racer, but like that was quick.
That was quick.
He's like citing, okay, this happened at this race.
At Silverstone.
So it has to be, he had the precedent already in his head. And like he states, at Silverstone, we had a red flag or a start. We didn't go through a sector. I don't know if it was a red flag, but we hadn't finished a sector.
Yeah, he says lap. That they had not done a lap, but the
rule is the sector.
Yeah.
So they hadn't finished the sector so that none of the shuffling of places counted. So
they could just rewind it, you know?
The speed at which he recalls that information is quick. Like, tells the team, check. Like, go get to the stores on that.
Exactly.
Like, which I guess they really got the rule book out there at Aston Martin. They got the receipts. They're pulling the receipts at Aston Martin because they almost they got the position back last race, 2 races ago, last race.
Jeddah.
And it looks like they got they got a good filing system there.
I like it because they have a chance this year to kind of really fight up the top, and if they'll do whatever it takes to get up there, because who knows if next year or the years after come are they going to have a competitive car as they have this year?
Who knows if they can copy this year's Red Bull? So who knows if they can get it? Yeah, they can copy it. Sometimes you copy homework and it's not right.
It's not.
Sometimes you copy homework and it's not correct.
Exactly. You ended up getting a worse grade than you get a horrible.
Or you try to copy one of our friends in high school, his chicken scratch. You couldn't read it. It took longer for you to copy than to do it yourself.
So maybe the guy that was so good at copying at Aston Martin, he leaves. And
exactly.
They don't
we don't know.
Guys,
so anyways, but yeah, when you're going up a team against how powerful Red Bull is and how dominant they are, you need to be pulling every single opportunity. You got to
They
do
have.
everything you can, and they're doing it.
Which
so
is
good.
good. Yeah, which is
It's
good.
good.
I forgot.
Right.
What
No,
was
we're going to
go.
talk about this start.
Oh, I was gonna just mention real quick about the FIA that I think that was real good and real smart of them to pull out that red flag so it wouldn't finish. So they can probably have that chance of rewinding it back to the.
Well, before
Like how they were saying.
yeah, but okay,
Because that red flag was quick.
yeah, the red flag was quick because there was 4 cars that were.
Yeah, but we've seen that
Torn up.
before when and
I
then,
guess, but they were right in the middle of the track.
yeah, but I feel like we've seen that before and they call a safety flag or they just do something else.
I don't know. But okay, so let's go back to quickly. The intent, we believe, was to finish racing,
Racing, exactly.
which I like, and I prefer. Last week we were new to the NASCAR, a little bit to the NASCAR. We saw something that we liked from the NASCAR race.
Oh, okay.
We saw overtime
Mhm.
to make sure that the race finishes racing, not under a safety flag. I mean, a safety car or any sort of, condition that's not racing.
Mhm.
And watching this race, I was like, okay, maybe, I think you mentioned something too that like, should they have some sort of overtime, extra laps? Do they come in maybe a rolling start, like just because it's safer? So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about that?
I think they should because I think they should because then they put themselves in this situation where it's like, okay, now the FIA they put this red flag, so now the red flag, okay, it's good. Now they can do a rolling start or standing start, but for them to get to racing, they weren't gonna have enough laps to do racing, right? So we saw I think there was lap 56 or 56, right? And then it would take one lap with the under the safety car. So then that would make it lap 57. And then I believe or it was lap 57. So they just used up like 2 laps.
Yeah, which
So
is
now-
less than like a safety car.
Exactly. So
But,
then now what happened
Additionally, why count those laps? I understand that they have
cuz technically
I understand that they have like, fuel issues and things like that. But if it's a red flag and you can put a little bit more fuel, you can change the tires. We don't fuel in F1, but if it's like a red flag so that you have the race finish racing
Mhm,
and safely, which I think a rolling start is safer.
mhm.
You don't count that lap. You put it in 2 laps worth of fuel, whatever. Every team is allowed to put that in. You have 1 lap you go, it doesn't count, and then you start a flying lap, a rolling start, and you continue the race.
I guess under the rule book those are still racing laps. I hear what you're saying. And
Or
But
add laps.
add laps, exactly.
Soccer,
So that's
stoppage time laps.
that's what we're talking about, the overtime, right?
Okay, someone clocks. Okay, 4 laps were again. It's a fuel issue though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why if it's a red flag specifically, then it's a fuel issue. We need more fuel in the car. There's only 58, 59 laps worth of fuel.
Maybe even less sometimes.
Less,
right?
Right. So maybe if it's a red flag, allow them to fuel. Obviously, we stopped fueling in F1 because it was dangerous on a pit stop. But on a red flag, you're stopped.
Mechanics bring out their stuff.
They
and
bring out
everything,
their little carts
yeah.
with all their generators and all that.
They're not being under. They're not going to be. They're not timed on how fast. They
Yeah,
need
exactly.
Fuel,
So
so they can.
I don't
take
feel
their
like
time, check
fueling
everything.
is going to be that dangerous.
Exactly. But it was like back to what we were saying, the overtime, where the FIA they red flagged it, and then they put themselves under a situation where they're like, okay, we're not going to end under a safety car, but the last lap is literally just going to be, it's going to be one with under the safety car. I mean, they're going to go around once with the safety car, and then they're just going to line up to the grid, and then they just cross the line, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying the second red flag, the third red flag.
The third red flag,
Well,
yeah.
the third start. No.
Yeah, the third start.
But the third start, they started, that's when the carnage happened.
Uh-huh.
And then they red flag it. There's 1 lap left.
Mm-hmm.
They bring out the cars for a little driver parade.
Exactly.
And then the safety car comes in, but there's no passing to the line anyways.
Exactly.
And then that was weird. I don't know if that just had to do with it had to do with there was only 1 lap left.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you add a lap, okay, yeah, then you can have 1 lap racing.
Yeah, I just feel like if they do an overtime and they do another plus 3 laps, plus 4 laps, plus 5 laps. Maybe 5 laps is like the real, the good one, to go with. The FIA is just gonna what's it called? They're not gonna put themselves in this situation, and then they'll let the teams decide on the track who gets the positions. Because now, when this red flag happens, people were talking about like, okay, the order that they came in.
This was a ridiculous end to a race. There was everyone had the rule books out. Everybody had
their opinions.
Should
it stay with this order?
So
should it go back to the other order?
What happened after the carnage was obviously the cars were placed in a certain order, right?
We saw the Haas's.
We saw Magnussen
up to 4.
Hulkenberg was up in the fourth.
Hell, you doing up there?
And so that's the issue, right?
Yeah, great race. By
is
the way.
that yeah, a good race.
Yeah.
That's the issue of everyone. So that was the order in which right before the red flag came out, the last red flag, they red flag it. That's when Alonso cites Silverstone. It's like, we didn't go through a sector, so they can't count this order. Whatever order they can count was from their last reference point, which was the start. So that's what they end up doing, is giving the racers the position that they were at the restart.
Yeah.
Which I think was the correct call. But your team,
like, Gunther was furious.
Gunther, of course, Gunther was furious because his rock star was up in fourth.
Yeah,
and
both of them.
And he gets screwed, right? But Alpine got screwed.
Yeah, but they screwed themselves.
Yeah, I mean, because of the restart, I guess. But like, but that was a little thing that I thought was weird. It was, okay, if you're going back, and I guess the rule was, if you're going back to that point of reference, and then you have to do that driver parade lap to cross the line on the last lap, well, those cars couldn't cross the line. But I felt like that was just super, like, just unfortunate for Alpine to just get taken out. They rewind the positions, but they can't rewind, so they're screwed. They get left out, DNF, both of them.
Yeah, and no points for Alpine.
It was a absolutely crazy end to a race.
It was a weird situation, and I mean, if they have like the overtime, they should probably look into the overtime, and I feel like it would solve a lot of their problems, and a lot of people would be a lot more happy in that situation, and there would be a lot less opinion.
The drivers were upset with the red flag with like 3 laps to go, right? Because they know the danger in which that comes, right? That a red flag means a standing start, and a standing start means, especially this late in the race, and I said this on our episode last week about like NASCAR. This is why NASCAR, I think, is interesting, because although we saw in the NASCAR race at COTA carnage on the restart, we saw there was like 4 restarts at the end, 5 restarts. They're able to handle that carnage a little better. We saw what happens. There's an F1 car, they just can't handle that. And there's 2 laps left, and you have a chance to get some points. You're going to do it. You're going to dive in. You're going to go. So you're setting everyone up for like a dangerous situation, because they only know there's 2 laps left. Now, if we do a rolling start and we add the laps, or stoppage time laps, extra laps, overtime laps, whatever you want to call them, I feel like it's safer, and we still get to see the race. We still get to finish it under racing conditions.
If it's under, you said a safety car?
No. Like
a rolling start?
A rolling start.
So you want the same thing, but no standing start, just rolling start?
Yeah, rolling start, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think that's the best thing, because there's been too many times where the FAA has made the decision, and it's their decision that dictated the race, right? Talking about the FIA, actually.
Marco, what's his name?
The FIA, the X one?
Yeah, what's his name? Marco Massey.
He was there.
He was there. He must have been like, these SOBs over here. They think it's so easy. They think it's easy.
It's not easy as they thought.
They think it's easy.
It's not easy as they thought.
I heard he was there, and I was like, oh. And then all this was happening. I was like, he must be sitting there with a giant grin on his face, being like, you guys thought this shit was easy.
I'm pretty sure he was. It was like the Kermitney, The
Which
Kermit, he was like, "Oh, none of my business." Or something. Yeah, he must have been that one because I feel bad for him or what happened.
He got screwed.
He got so
he
much.
got screwed, and
got
he did the people good.
He
All right,
did,
he did the people good. People were tired of seeing Hamilton win.
Exactly. But yeah, he was there.
There
You
you
know,
go.
that was the first time he's been back since Abu Dhabi 2021.
Good that he got to see this. He got to see
Exactly.
it. I'm happy for him.
That's crazy. You know, we should get Toto and him on the show.
Royal
And-
Rumble.
Yeah, and let's just talk it out. Good old Jerry Springer. You know? Get their words out.
There
and
may or may not be some foldable chairs on the side of the room.
you might not have a ring bell ready to go. You know?
Frankie's gonna be right there, ready. To ding ding ding.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
And then Horner's gonna tag team Massey.
Yeah.
Massey's gonna be like, "Hey, how about?" And Horner's gonna be sitting there. I am boom, and he jump in with a chair. Pass.
No, Horner's gonna come from underneath the ring, and right? Toto's about to take the victory, and he takes him. Oh, dude,
Hamilton jumps on. Oh, that'd be good.
that'd be good. Yeah, I wonder if there's any bad blood between them at the end.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, so the race ends right before they have that whole race parade.
And
though.
then there was another thing going on.
Mhm.
The penalty to Sainz.
The penalty in science, which I thought it wasn't gonna come. I honestly thought he got away with it. I was like, damn, no one's talking about this. Everybody's talking about just the order.
You know,
like,
it,
you know?
it was like he was just trying to.
He's just slipping under the rug,
Yeah.
you know. So I thought they weren't gonna give him, and then it's kind of messed up that they gave it to him like right after. They should have just waited towards the end, honestly.
Well, okay, so what happens is while they're stopped under the red flag, before like we said, the driver parade last lap that they had,
Mm-hmm.
Sainz is handed a 5-second penalty, but he has to serve this as at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's just ended.
So
it's just
it added to his time. But the time, as we said, was set by like just driving under a safety car. So what ends up happening is he has a 5-second penalty as soon as he crosses the line. So then, which I thought was a little dangerous because then the cars behind him, in theory, could pass him by getting a time that was within 5 seconds of his time. So then you could have cars behind them. Obviously, they're supposed to not overtake and things like that.
That's super
But
close.
and I think they mentioned it. I think Crofty mentions this. It was like you could have like 4 cars wide on the trying to cross the line. Obviously staggered in their correct positioning. You just have 4 cars wide because they're trying to be within that 5 seconds. It turns out that everyone gets in within the 5 seconds, and Sainz gets placed at the end of the race in 12th, which was last place because everyone else had crashed out of the race.
Yeah, everybody had DNF. So he went from like, I think it was 4th.
I think he was. Well,
I think he was 4th or 5th or.
I think he
5th.
was. Yeah, I think he was 4th.
4th or 5th, one of those. And yeah, he gets thrown all the way down to the bottom. So the finishing order was obviously Verstappen takes the win. And before the red flag, he had a huge gap back to Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton gets 2nd. Alonso gets 3rd. So Alonso's 3 for 3 in 3rd, right? Because the last 2 he had 3rd.
Yeah, that's true. He's Mr. Consistent right
Yeah,
now.
3 for 3.
3 for 3 in third.
In 3. And
So 3 cubed.
3 cubed. And Stroll gets 4th. Perez gets 5th.
Perez gets 5th. He gets fastest lap. And quite fortunate to be up in 5th,
Yeah.
which not upset about, but yeah.
We were hoping for him. I mean, I was hoping really I felt like this was going to be a good test for Perez to come from all the way from the bottom. And if he can really go up to the top within quick enough time, it was like, okay, he's competing at the level of
I mean,
Verstappen.
if he would have done it in the same manner that Verstappen did it, he would have been
would've
super
had
fortunate on
hopes.
those red flags.
Yeah,
He would have been right on him.
exactly. But he doesn't. Norris behind him at 6. Hulkenberg 7th. Good race for Hulkenberg. Piastri 8th. And then Joe 9th and Tsunoda 10th.
Piastri 8th, which I believe are his first points
In F1?
in F1
Okay. Congrats
and
for
at his
Piastri.
home Grand Prix.
That's good.
So that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. It was a good day for the McLarens because on Saturday their days were horrible. So, what's it called? It was a good day for them. And yeah, everybody else DNF. So there's a lot of carnage out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
just an absolutely insane race.
It was good. It was
Towards the
crazy.
end.
Yeah.
The beginning was packed,
But I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
With
so
events.
like the yellow, that was
and then
interesting.
the end was jam packed with events too.
Mhm.
Usually that's how races are, huh?
But that's what I was saying earlier is that I feel like the middle stint, you can't like base a race off the middle stint because we don't normally see lots of things happen in the middle stint.
Yeah, you don't. Usually, if anything happens, it's setting up towards like the ending.
Yeah.
The ending of the race. But with his win, Verstappen obviously stays on top.
Yeah. So driver standings: Verstappen first, Perez second, behind by 6. How many
Come on,
points?
you can do it.
You do it. Do the math. I'm not
Okay,
good at
we
math.
got 6. That's 60.
10.
So 9. So then it'll be 15, right?
Sure. Yeah, 15. 15 points, not horrible, but he needs to pick it up.
He does. He needs to have a good day, and Verstappen have an okay day.
Yeah, because I mean he's closer to Alonso in third than he is to Verstappen in first.
Yes. So Alonso
9 points.
9 points behind him.
Perez. And we got Hamilton, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. But and then the constructors, Red Bull's just crushing it
Red
right
Bull
now.
almost has double the points that Aston
Aston
Martin has.
does.
Almost.
And the only really close ones, like in those top ones, are Aston Martin and Mercedes.
Ferrari 26 points.
Yeah, Ferrari just having
Jeez.
because they scored no points in this race.
They scored no points today.
So
Yeah,
it
you're
was
right.
horrible for them.
But you know what's interesting? Everyone has a point.
Oh, you're right.
All teams have a
All
point.
some points.
3 races in. Does that mean we're closing the gap between people?
I mean, on numbers, it looks like something is happening.
Because everyone has a point.
Because when's the last time when everybody had a point?
I don't know.
Did last year did everybody have a point?
I think
don't
everyone had a point last year, but it happened later in the season.
in the season, huh?
Yeah,
Because we would go like, man, I remember when
I
I
mean
first
Williams
started
had those a couple years where they would get 0 points.
0 points.
Like they had no points the entire season.
Remember when they would be crying over 1 point?
Yeah,
That's
when
insane.
Russell was in the 11th and they're like
Exactly.
fighting for 10th.
Fighting for 10.
for one measly point.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone's got a point.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that battle to 6 doesn't look too bad. Alpine in 6th with 8 points. Haas in 7th. Alfa Romero in 8th with 6 points, and then we got AlphaTauri and Williams with 1 point each. Those points, I mean, they're all pretty close. I mean, one good race and they're in it.
I think so, yeah. I think Ferrari's going to start leaving McLaren pretty soon.
I mean, if they can get some reliability issues, yeah. Sure.
But McLaren, Alpine, Haas, Alfa Romero, they look like they're the ones that are going to be kind of close to fight.
But I don't know. But Williams is sitting on 1 point, but Albon has shown like he's got some pace.
Man,
He's got some pace, and Sargent, while today was the worst of his 3 races, maybe he can, fight for some points at some
he
point.
needs to turn it around. He had a great start.
Yeah,
in,
great start. He's been slipping,
in Bahrain.
falling back ever since.
Yeah, he needs to get out of this.
While Piastri has kind of stepped it up.
He has.
We haven't seen much from De Vries.
We haven't.
The third rookie on the grid. We haven't seen too much from him yet, but
he doesn't have a good car. But
yeah, they don't have a good car. I mean, Sonoda he gets eaten up anytime he's in like a place of maybe he could fight for some points. He just gets swallowed up.
And we see De Vries have been able to extract a car that doesn't have that much race pace and really extract the most out of it. So we haven't seen that De Vries out there on the track. Hopefully we get to see him soon because he's shown in the past that he's a good driver.
Yeah.
one thing that I noted for this race, just one of my race recaps, is that with the whole FIA situation going on with the red flags, the yellow flags, the virtual safety flags, even back to Jeddah when they should have been a virtual safety car, but they put a safety car and stuff. And there's been a lot of talk around right now in this time with AI software. I wonder if they should incorporate AI into the FIA, so the AI spits them out something of what should this be a red flag, should this be a yellow flag, or should it be a safety flag or not, and also for penalties, as far as like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a penalty, no, that's not a penalty, and stuff like that, because the AI collects all the data, so then they're able to make a good decision on it. So I wonder if they should.
Well, I mean, I don't see that being a bad idea, because they need some artificial intelligence, because they got no regular intelligence.
They got no regular.
So maybe we can fabricate some artificial intelligence, because there's no intelligence there
So
right
something's
now.
better than nothing?
Yeah, anything's better than what we got right now.
Yeah, sometimes their decisions are questionable. But I wonder if they bring some AI into there, the AI will be able to spit them out something that's pretty close to it.
Yeah.
And then if the AI is wrong, I mean, the FI can just be, oh, well, that's what the computer told me. So talk it up with the computer.
Go. Who programmed this? Who programmed this AI?
Exactly. But it was a pretty good race. Oh, there was a lot of fans out there. You saw how many fans are out there?
I mean, yeah, it's growing.
444,000 fans.
Yeah, when we've been to a 400,000 plus Grand Prix, and it
was crazy.
Yeah,
it was packed.
I mean,
it was waterless.
We're going to this year. We're going to the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona, and hopefully it's not as
it's not
badly organized as the Austin one.
Oh yeah, hopefully they. I'm pretty sure they have their shit together.
That's been. I mean, yeah. I mean that Austin did get like.
Even though we've heard horror stories, even in like Monza, of the situation going on there.
There's so many people. I don't know how you like manage so many people.
This one was a lot. You couldn't even hear the crowd when someone crashes and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fans out there, which is good. I mean, good for the sport and stuff. So all the Aussies out there.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. So all the fans out there, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like and comment and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And so hopefully we can make it out to a race out there.
Yeah, I mean that's a race that I want to go to.
Yeah, that's the time sheet is crazy over there, huh?
Yeah,
it's like a whole 12 hours ahead or something like that. But that's kind of it from me. It was an okay race.
Oh, that was good. I mean, it was definitely entertaining. I think it was a cool race because it brought just so many perspectives and rules, and like it made your brain work. And that was interesting.
I think I gotta give like kudos to the FIA. They did for everything that happened. They did a pretty good job as far as keeping it and make sure it didn't get out of hand, because they could have gone. Okay,
I guess
could have gone south
within the current rules and regulations. I'll say I'll agree with that point. But to counter, maybe if we had just a little rules and regulations that were structured a little differently, we could have finished racing, not had how many DNFs? 7. But I mean, I think it was a good race overall. What's the next race? 2 weeks from now?
It's gonna be the Azerbaijan
Grand Prix, Baku.
Yeah,
I'm
Baku.
stupid.
I repeat, I am stupid.
Little Leclerc running into the we like to call it the castle run. Little nod to the Star Wars Kessel Run.
It's another street course.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to it. Street course, you know what that means? Hopefully our man, the street king, the main man himself, Checo, can pull out another win there. Another.
Last year, did he win there?
No, not last year, but 2 years ago when Verstappen crashed, and then Hamilton decided to not hit the brakes
Yeah.
on turn 1, and then Checo rode off into the for the win.
That was a great win.
Yeah, it was good. All
Uh,
right, well,
But yeah, I guess on that, it's been good. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and like our video. And make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Full Bean Show, on TikTok too. It's also Full Bean Show.
yep.
And stay tuned for more content from us. F1 won't be back until like another 2 weeks. So, but we're still gonna have a lot more here. So I guess on that bombshell, we're signing out here at the Full Bean Studio. I'll see you guys later.
See you.